Welcome to the Ebb and Glow podcast. I'm your host, Jenelle Tremblett, and I'm a firm believer that even when life doesn't go as planned, it is taking you exactly where you're meant to be. On this podcast, I'm here to help you finally release control of what you think you want and begin to just trust in the ebbs and flows of life. Each week, I will show you how to build that positive mindset, radiate with self-confidence, and cultivate an unshakable resilience. Let me prove to you that even when life ebbs, you will glow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ebb and Glow podcast. I'm your host, Jenelle, and today is a solo episode with, obviously, yours truly. I do an episode solo every single month, and I'm trying to think back to what I talked about last month. I'm blanking right now. The funny thing is, as I was setting up the ring light and my microphone and everything to record this episode, I finally got the YouTube channel set up for the podcast. So now I'm a little bit more mindful of what I look like on video. And did I do anything about that today? No. It's funny. I was thinking if for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a real estate agent full-time in Toronto on top of the podcast, or I should say the podcast on top of real estate. And I do a lot of content creation for real estate. And it's funny how different looking my content is for real estate compared to the podcast, because obviously with real estate, I'm in dress pants, I'm in heels, I'm in blazers. And then if any of my clients start looking up my YouTube channel for the podcast or look up the Instagram, they're going to see me in hoodies and whatnot. And I realized in the moment as I hit record that, wow, I live a double life. I truly do. I had a friend recently ask me just questioning, who's the real you? What are you more passionate about? Your podcast, real estate? When do you feel more like your true self? And I can genuinely say that I feel my true self in both. And I don't know how to describe that, but it's true. And I kind of need both to almost feel like the true me, because the moment I come in from real estate, I'm ready to go into a different version and different mode of Jenelle. But when I'm in real estate and really in the zone, oh, it feels so good. I love it. So yeah, I guess to answer that question, both versions of me are me, just at different times of the day. Anyways, so to start off the episode, I like to kind of give some basic updates and tell you kind of my ebbs and glows of the past month. Like I said, I do a solo episode every single month. So this is always nice for me to reminisce and reflect back on what's gone down in the last 30 days. So from mid-September to mid-October right now. So some ebbs in my life right now. One of the big ones coming up for me right now is I'm just really drained, plus my to-do list just seems constantly overwhelming. I feel like I'm racing with the clock constantly the last couple of weeks, and in a bad cycle of staying up late and then sleeping in a little bit, and then basically already feeling like I'm behind once I finally get up and get coffee and whatnot. And then that constant cycle of racing with the clock. I don't love it. I'm such a I shouldn't say I'm a morning person, because all of my friends will cut me off and say, girl, you press snooze 1,000 times. But when I say morning person, I am the most productive first thing in the morning, kind of up until 2:00. And I rearrange my day around where my energies are. Anyways, not prudent to what I'm saying right now. But where the ebb is for me is, I find that I have a lot of low energy the last couple of weeks. I'm still getting a lot done. When I look at my to-do list and my planner, there's still lots getting done. But I guess that I'm adding more to my to-do list than I don't want to say handle, but what word am I looking for? I'm adding too much to my to-do list than that's possible for someone to get done in a regular day. And then it's constantly taking some things and pushing it to the next day and the next day. And then it keeps piling up. So I had a conversation with a friend today, and he just kind of reminded me, you got to figure out what is most important, what's essential, what can go. And I can't figure out what I can let go of. And do I just let it go completely because there's no ROI behind it? At what point do I just stop doing that? Or at what point do I hire someone and get them to help me out? So that's kind of where my head is at with that. The other ebbs in my life right now, a random, but it feels big to me. I need to declutter my closet so much. I feel that I'm kind of cycling through a handful of outfits and a handful of clothes, yet both of my closets are filled. I have clothes in those IKEA cubes under my bed. I have clothes in the storage locker. Like, I don't even know what's in the storage locker. And the feeling of knowing that there's that much clothes and clutter around me, but yet I still don't feel like I have outfits put together. This feeling is not new to me or anyone. I'm sure a lot of people feel that way, changing seasons and kind of as your style changes. But right now, for me, it's really prevalent in my life that I feel that the clothes in my closet is not representative of who I am today. And I really need to just let go, declutter, and as Marie Kondo always says, get rid of what doesn't spark joy. So if anyone cares to know kind of how I'm going to go through that, what I'm going to do is as I go through each item, I am going to do the classic of like what sparks joy. But if I'm not going to wear it, say on a date next week or for work next week, or if I wouldn't reach for it to pack for a trip, if I don't feel my absolute best in it, if I wouldn't take photos in it, there's another idea, then it needs to go. And I know in my past, I'm pretty good at decluttering, but I know for me in my past and a lot of people, it's so hard to let go of a clothing item that is still in perfect condition, but you just don't like it anymore. You feel guilty of kind of getting rid of it because it's not quote unquote worn out. But I always like to remind myself there's someone else out there that's going to get so much joy out of this item. And you're almost withholding that joy from them if you don't give it to them. Or if you don't let it go, is what I'm saying. So I need to keep reminding myself of that. After this podcast recording, I might tackle some of it and just start getting through it. But yeah, it really needs to get donated. And it's interesting, as I was scrolling through I was scrolling through Instagram just then, there is a clothing drive happening for a lot of just winter clothes. And I have so many extra like scarves and mittens and that kind of stuff that I can get rid of. And I thought to myself, oh, perfect timing. Isn't that convenient that as I'm sitting here needing to declutter and donate some clothes, there's a place to donate. So I'm excited for that. So now that ebb, it feels like an ebb, I'm going to be able to turn it into a glow of feeling good about donating that clothes and also decluttering and making sure my closets and the clothes that I have feels representative of me. So for glows, I have a couple of glows that I'm really happy about. One of the biggest ones is I finally got the podcast YouTube set up. And it's so funny how you can have a task or a project on your list to do for months and months. And then you finally take the time to start doing it. And all of a sudden it's done within the hour, within 2 hours. And you're like, really? I prolonged that project for 6 months, let's say. And all it took was 2 hours of me sitting down, just focusing. It kind of like, I don't want to say I have shame around it, but it's like, why did I procrastinate on that long? Like it wasn't that big of a project, but I'll just say it is a glow that I finally got that launched. For me, I already had the videos, and I know some people prefer to watch a conversation visually instead of through audio. And I know a lot of people that like the YouTube platform and would rather listen/watch podcasts on YouTube. So for me, it was just a couple extra clicks to be able to also post the podcast on YouTube. So I'm excited for that. And then, I guess another glow is I updated my cover art since my last episode. So version 3 of the Ebb and Glow brand, I'm super excited about. I went and got some new photos done, and it just feels like a little bit more of a clean look, and kind of updated the website. And yeah, so a little bit more of some branding changes got done over the last month. Other glows, I would say a big glow right now is my real estate business is really good. It's in a really good spot. I'm really happy with what's happening. I'm generating a nice bit of business from TikTok. People are finding me. And yeah, I'm just feeling really good. A lot of the clients I'm working with, I'm really happy with them. I just really like the clients I have right now. I mean, I've always liked all of my clients. So anyone listening, I've loved all of you. Don't worry. But just the group I'm working with in the last few months, I'm just having a really good time with them. And I have a handful of buyers that are sitting on the sidelines right now, just kind of trying to find the right place. And it's been really fun searching with them. And what I love about my career the most is how quick you can get to know someone in this business. It is a really intimate part of their lives that you're involved in. They're purchasing a really big investment. They're probably the biggest purchase they'll ever do in their life. And you're watching the emotions, you're watching couples decide what is a must have and what is a nice to have, and that compromise that you're watching. And yeah, it is really fun. I love working with people, finding places, and I love working with couples, especially. Yeah, I'm sure you can hear it in my voice and see it on my face. I really, really enjoy my career and I love it. And it's interesting. One thing I want to say about that is I had a friend recently point out that he quote unquote said, "You're out of the matrix." And I cracked up laughing at that. But what he meant by that was you actually like your job. You like what you do every single day. And I realized in that moment, there was a point in my life where I didn't like what I was doing every single day, or it was meh. And I had so much gratitude in that moment. And I thought to myself, yeah, I do love what I do. I love my career. I love what I do every single day. I'm excited about the projects that I work on. I'm excited about the people I get to work with and help and service and help find beautiful homes in Toronto. I work in the biggest market in Canada. I live downtown. Like, it's cool. Like, I have a cool career. And it sounds like I'm bragging a little bit, I would say, but yeah, it hit me in that moment that, yeah, maybe I did get out of the matrix a little bit. Now, that being said, I'm in a different version of the matrix where, as I was saying, my to-do list never seems like it's ending. And there's always so many ideas. And I'm afraid sometimes to just pause and be and stop hustling. But yeah, overall, I do love it. So it was a nice compliment. I don't even think he realized he was giving me a compliment, but the way he said it definitely sounded like a way of like admiration and almost envy, like a positive envy, where he thought, okay, eventually I want what she has or what she's exuding. And yeah, I hope he does get it. He has a lot of dreams, this friend that I'm talking about, and I would love for him to go after some different dreams than what he's currently doing. And yeah, I trust that he'll be out of the matrix soon enough too. Okay, let's get into the main topic of today's solo episode. And really, the topic is all around dating. I swear all I talk about is career and dating, but those are my two favorite topics. Anyways, so in the last few months, I guess you can say, jumped back into the dating world and have been dating around a little bit. Why am I nervous to like start talking about this? Yeah, it's new again for me. I guess I finally got the stomach for it again to get into the dating world and just make some time in my life for that area of my life. Because yeah, I mean, if you want any context, go listen to past solo episodes. Get the download numbers. Give me the download numbers if you want the tea. So the last few months, I've gotten the stomach and the courage to dip my toes a bit back into the dating world. And I've been dating around a little bit and exploring some new connections. And what comes with that, as anyone who's ever dated or been in relationships, obviously everyone, but I find when you start getting to know people and going down the road of whether romantic or whatnot, and just getting to know new people, it allows you to learn so much about yourself. And if you're ever trying to go through like a healing process or even just like self-growth, going on dates and dating people and getting to know people is a great way to go through some self-growth and self-realization. And yeah, just like really get to know yourself. So I've learned in the past little while, like I said, I've met a nice few people in the last few months, and it's just intriguing to me what I've learned about myself. And old wounds are so quick to be brought up around self-worth and your attachment styles. I mean, I could go on and on. Dating and getting to know people and going on dates, it can bring up a lot of old crap. And for me, the biggest thing for me right now is any connection that I meet or any person that I'm into, I'm taking it real slow, like slow burn to the nth degree. And the reason for that is in the past, actually, I went to a tarot card reader in the beginning of September, and the first thing I was asked, we were talking about career, love, all the usuals, and the biggest thing she said to me about love, she said, "You jump into relationships way too quickly." And then all of a sudden, you are extremely disappointed because they turn out to be someone that you didn't think they were. They're a completely different person. And my friend, a couple of my friends were with me, and we all just like smirked and just started laughing because that's exactly what I do. And so this time around, I really want to slow burn it with anyone that I have a connection with, because it's important to me this time to really sit with my feelings and thoughts after every interaction and really give someone a few months, if both parties are still interested, give someone a few months to really show their true colors before I can decide if I'm really interested in them. And it gives me some time to, yeah, get to know them for who they really are, really get to see their intentions. And yeah, I think time in between hanging out with someone and really taking everything slowly, I think a lot of people don't put value on that anymore. And even the last few months for me, with some people I've been hanging out with and chatting to, it's nice having that space in between to really feel out how you actually feel and what you think. Because for me in the past, if I've initially dated someone, we're seeing each other a few times a week. And it's hard to find time to take time apart to sit back and think, how did I feel about that interaction? Do I really like what they said in that moment? How does that person make me feel? Is the characteristics that I'm seeing in this person something that I feel that would work with me long term? If you're seeing someone every second day, you don't have enough time to yourself to really feel out what everything really is. You're kind of just in the lust so deep that you don't have the time to have that bird's eye view. So this time around, I am looking for that bird's eye view, and I plan on spending time up in that bird's eye view for a while. So a couple of things that I've recognized in dating on both sides. One of the biggest lessons I've learned, or I guess I've relearned this time around in dating over the past couple of months, and has given me a lot of comfort, is the mantra around you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And like I said, it's given me so much comfort lately. And I've been on both sides of this. I've met guys recently that are really great, but I'm just not that into. And it's funny watching the texts come in, and so many things, what they said were giving me the absolute ick. I'm sorry, but they were. My friends can all vouch for this. And I didn't realize that it was an ick, or I didn't realize that maybe they weren't for me, because until a couple of my girlfriends said, you know, if you were really into a guy and they said that exact same text message, it would not bother you. But the reason why that text message is bugging you, or maybe something they said in person, is because you're really just not into them. And it allowed me to sit back and be like, yeah, I guess you're right. If everything they are doing or saying is bugging me, then that's probably a sure tell sign that I'm not that into them. And it's unfortunate, but it happens. I mean, you're not going to adore every person that you meet. You're not going to fall for every person that you meet or have a big crush on them. Some people are just not going to be a match, and that's okay. But on the flip side, I've seen it the same way. When I like someone or I don't like someone, I mean, I'm sure you feel the same, where when you like someone and maybe the energy shifts a bit, all you're doing all day long is questioning, what text message or what thing did I say to throw it off? Come on, we've all been there. And you rack your brain about it so much to the point where you're so overanalyzing, you're scrolling back through your text for weeks, seeing like where the energy shift changed. And it's such a waste of damn time. But we've all been there. We've all been there. The moment the energy shifts when you're interested in someone or you have a crush, you are flipping out internally. And I've been there multiple times. I've been there a couple times lately. And yeah, you're just wondering where it all went wrong. And the truth is, you didn't do anything wrong. It's just not the match. And it's interesting to me. Like I said, I've been on both sides where I'm just not into someone and it was nothing they really said or did. It's just like, it just wasn't the match. And I've been on the side where the energy shifts and I really like this person, but yeah, their energy is being weird and I'm getting the sense that they're not that into me. And yeah, you're wondering, what was it I said? Did I wear something or do something weird? But it was nothing that you did. It just simply wasn't the match. Like I said, you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. I've wasted a bunch of energy racking my brain, figuring out where things went wrong. And I'm sure people who have had crushes on me in the past few months probably did the same with me. Let me explicitly say to everyone, no one ever did anything wrong. Just simply wasn't the one, wasn't the right match, wasn't the right connection. And you can have such a great time with someone and go on amazing dates and feel like everything was romantically working. But ultimately, it's very clear when someone's into you or not. And you just have to trust that gut feeling. Don't fight it. Don't fight for it, especially. Don't chase it. I like a little bit of chasing on both parties, but if you feel like you're chasing a lot, then that person's just not into you and start matching their energy. And that's one of the biggest things that I've done in the past few months is match energy. I've always done this, but especially lately. And trust me, it works wonders in terms of your mental health. I'm not saying it works wonders in terms of get the guy or get the girl back. It works wonders in just making you at peace in terms of any situation that you're wondering kind of what's going on. I want to give a little bit more context and examples of what I'm talking about to make you realize that what I'm saying in terms of you can't say the wrong thing to the right person is so true. Think about it this way. Any of your close girlfriends or your close guy friends, have you ever second guessed any single thing you've ever, especially texted, or any single thing you've ever said to them? Absolutely not. We only do this when we have a crush, when we're worried about rejection, when we're wondering if someone likes us, when we're trying to feel out like what the vibe is. But you have never questioned what you've texted or went even back and read it again to any of your close friends. And I've recognized this in myself. Any of my close guy friends or any of my girlfriends, my family, anything, I have never once questioned what I sent them or went back and scrolled through the messages to see like, oh, like I haven't heard from them in 4 to 5 hours. Like, did I say something wrong? No, you've never done that because you feel secure in that relationship and you feel like that friendship or family relationship is secure and unconditional. So why in the world do we do that when we have a crush on someone? Why do we obsess and overanalyze what we're texting, what we've said, like every single thing? We're almost editing ourselves the entire time and overanalyzing, and it's not worth it. Because when you compare both of those energies, you want the energy, the person that you're dating romantically or the person that you have a crush on, you want the same energy that you would have with a best friend, whether guy friend or girlfriend, where you're not editing yourself before you do anything. You don't want to be giving them an edited version of yourself because that is not the authentic you. And so I've recognized this in myself lately. I thought to myself, because I'm talking about romantic relationships here, I've thought to myself, all of my really close guy friends, obviously I don't edit myself in front of them at all. Any of them listening here, they're probably thinking, I wish you would edit yourself a little bit, but I don't. And those relationships are so tight and they feel very unconditional, and connection with those guy friends of mine is really deep. And I think it links back to a lot of the unediting and the authenticity and the not wasting any energy, wondering if I did anything to shift the energy. Because when someone's a friend of yours, you don't give anything really a second thought. You're not questioning why you haven't heard from them in a few days. You're not wondering like when you're going to see them next. Like if you want to see them next, you just simply text them and say, "Hey, let's get together." There's so much less game playing and so much less wondering what's going on. It's very clear what's going on. And I'm wondering and also aspiring to have that same type of energy that I have, say, with my guy friends or my girlfriends, and bring that into dating relationships. I want to be going into relationships and the initial dating feeling very unedited and not wasting any energy or second guessing myself ever, or ever wondering and worrying, especially if I say this a certain way, will things fall apart? Think about anyone that you've seriously dated and maybe you're still with them, maybe they're your long-term partner, marriage, whatever. Think about all of the times you've fucked up. Think about all the stupid shit you've said. Think about all the stupid shit you've done. And has that person ever wavered in their love for you? Probably not. Even in the initial stages, I'm sure you felt that anything I do, I feel like they're going to love me still. And I mean, ultimately, you're still dating them. So, I mean, that person was a good match for you. And I just want everyone listening today to really think as you're going into, and I'm saying this as if I'm preaching it, but I'm really saying it for myself. As you're going into these initial dates and the connections and maybe looking for someone as a partner romantically, please stop editing yourself. Please just stop worrying about saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing or acting a certain way. If you are just so in your body and just being you and being very present in the moment, yes, you are going to repel certain people, but you are going to repel them eventually anyways. Because if you are editing yourself for 3 to 4 months in the initial stages of the relationship, the moment you get a little comfortable and start being your real self, you're going to repel them right away anyways. But imagine if you were your real self from day one, you would have saved so much wasted time. And trust me, I know a lot about wasted time. Any of my close friends listening to this are laughing, cringing. Eek. Anyways, I have so many things to say about this, but I really just want this episode as inspiration for myself, selfishly, to remind myself that the person that's meant for you is going to love every single piece of you. And they're going to especially love the pieces that are not perfect. I find when I get to know people on a deeper level and really starting to see their flaws and their quirks and the weird stuff they do, I just like them so much more. Like whether it's a friend or whether a romantic partner, I just like adore them more and more. The sillier I see them be, or the more vulnerable they are. And people feel the same way about you. They want to see the real you. They want to see the guard down. And what I want to say is, if you have that guard up and are that perfect version of whoever, whatever facade you're putting off, you are going to attract the wrong person for you. And you don't want that. But I know all of us listening, myself included, we're always afraid of rejection. And as we're going on dates, I'm sure I've done it. I'm sure you've done it before too. You're pretending you have different interests than you do. You're pretending to act a certain way than what you normally would. You're holding yourself back. You're editing yourself. Ugh. We all are doing it. And the more you do it, the less time and energy you have to give to the people that are looking for the real you. I just want everyone to know that's listening to this, if you're single, that the more you are yourself, the more the right person is going to fall in love with you. And they're looking for that. So start being yourself. Start doing the things that make you the happiest. Start hanging out with the people that make you the happiest. Go to the places you like. If you don't like partying on King Street West all the time, then stop. Go do the things you want to do. Stay at home on a Friday night and then go to the market in the morning if that's what you like to do. Because I can guarantee you, if you are doing the things that you truly love to do, you will find the people that also like the same things you do. But I mean, if you don't like partying every Friday, Saturday night, and then you're wondering why you're not meeting anyone, because you're not in the places to meet the people that are the right match for you. But we all are so afraid to kind of go against the grain and do the things that we really want to do. But I find for me, what comes with a little bit of age, I say age, I'm like 29 years old, but what comes with growing up and getting into your late 20s and early 30s is you stop giving a fuck about what everyone else thinks. And you really start to come into your own and really want to be and do the things that you truly want to do. And if you're listening to this and you're younger, get ahead of this. Start doing that today, because you're going to attract the right people who are soul aligned for you the more you are actually authentically you. And I feel like the word authentic is so overly used, but I still think it rings a bell. When you are that person that you truly are, you are going to attract that person that's looking for that. I can guarantee you, whatever characteristics you have, whatever interests you have, whatever you have to offer someone, I can guarantee you there's someone sitting at home right now and by themselves, and they are praying for the exact person you are. So imagine if you aren't being that person, you may meet that person that's been praying for the real you. But if you're not the real you, they're just going to walk on past because they didn't think they've met the person they're praying for. I sound like a preacher, don't I? That's okay though. I'm really just preaching for me and anyone who this resonates with. But to bring us all back to the main point, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And if you're feeling anxious about wondering if you said the right thing, it's not it. Look around yourself at the connections that you have, both friendships and romantic, and who are you the most comfortable around? Who are you the most safe around? Those are the people that you want to be spending the most time with. And if we want to get specific to romantic connections, who's the person that you feel that you are your true self around? Maybe give that person a second look, because if you're willing to be your true self around them, you feel comfortable and safe. I mean, maybe there's more to that situation, that connection than you think, and maybe it's worth exploring. So, all to say, I want to, this whole episode has just been kind of like a little dating update. For me, I don't know if I'm looking for anything super serious just yet. I feel like, I'm just like dipping my toes back into dating a little bit. I was saying to myself today that if I met the love of my life tomorrow, I don't know if I'd be ready for it. And I had this conversation with a friend of mine also recently. I asked him, like, are you even ready to meet the one? And he was kind of taken aback a little bit. And he's like, I don't even think he answered me, but I think it set into him where it's like, maybe I'm not even ready. And even as I asked that question, I thought to myself, maybe I'm not ready. So baby steps. I feel like I still have a lot of healing and self-growth to get through in order to attract the partner that I know I'm looking for. I'm getting a little bit more clearer on what I'm looking for, and it feels closer. It's a nice feeling. It feels like it's in a little bit more than arm's reach. It's not that close, but it feels closer. And as I go on these dates and as I'm dating around a little bit right now, it's reminding me of all the characteristics of someone I do love, all the characteristics that I aspire to be and the type of person I want to be for someone. And it's kind of just coming back top of mind in my life right now. And finding out if I do meet that person or a person that I'm very interested in, figuring out where they fit in, because I can guarantee you I have a busy life, but I know once I meet someone that I really connect with and I'm really into, I will find room for you. I will give you a big piece of the pie. That's for sure. I'm a very loving, nurturing person. And once I find someone I like, you will fit in very well. So that's all in all the updates on my life. I guess the next episode will be mid-November. though I'm sure I'll have more to update you on. Maybe more career, maybe more friendships, maybe more just like life. Oh, I forgot to say another big glow that happened recently is I booked a trip to Portugal for the spring. So I'm super excited about that. So that I have that to look forward to. I'm not going to plan it obviously until close to the spring, but hey, the flights are booked, so I know it's happening. So let's conclude it here. Thank you, everyone who has been a longtime listener of the podcast. If this is your first episode ever, welcome. I hope you've enjoyed my candidness and my vulnerability that I often share on here. And it's always a pleasure to have everyone. I genuinely, this is a verbal diary for me, and I genuinely enjoy getting on here and just chatting. It makes me wonder, I'm like, should I have been a YouTuber like 5, 6, 10 years ago? Probably would have had a lot of fun, but hey, better late than never. So all in all, if you've gained any value from today's episode, please share it with a friend who you think will gain value as well. Share it on your stories, DM me, let me know what you're thinking. And all in all, I'm just so thankful that you've joined in today to listen to everything I had to say. So wherever you're listening, whatever time of day it is, have the best day ever. Show gratitude in everything you're doing. And I know what I have gratitude for the most is you listening here today. Okay, enjoy your day. Talk to you next week. Bye. Did you know that I'm not only a podcast host, but in my full-time career, I am a Toronto-based real estate agent. In 2021, I closed 100 deals. Yes, you heard that correctly, 100. So if you or someone you know is a busy professional looking to get into the Toronto real estate market and looking to work with a realtor who values your time, make sure to reach out to me and let's get connected. And in the meantime, we'll see you here back next week.